Guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Cell Max event. This time it is the EZA INT LR Cell's turn. I have a quick clip of a different run of a different team I actually ran Cell on, and I just wanted to show you how he did tanking wise, because he didn't get to attack unfortunately, without being transformed. So he only took 71k on a basic, which when you consider he has like what, almost 300k defense at the start of turn. He hasn't supered yet. He hasn't got any extra attack and defense when performing a super attack, which I'm pretty sure it's 50%. He hasn't even 12 key supered, so he hasn't raised his defense by 30%. This is in slot 1, no super attack, no additional buffs. Yes, he does get hit by 641k on a super. However, if this was in the realm of some teams having like 700k HP, Cell would have survived in slot 1, which again is crazy when you consider he hasn't supered and he's not even transformed. So he's not getting any extra additional buffs whatsoever in that turn. So I'm pretty impressed, and 70k on a basic, if he didn't get supered in slot 1, means he probably would have survived there. So I just had to throw that in just to show props for how good Cell is, again, even before he's transformed. But this is the actual run. I did run him on the Gamma 1's artificial life form category, just because the team is a little bit better, because Gamma 1 does also run movie heroes, so you can bring the likes of a rotation of like God Goku with the Super Saiyan Blues, Super Saiyan Gods for Year 7. There's also the possibility of Birdku in there, and then you can run a rotation with Cell with like LR Cell and Cell Juniors, or even the Dokkan Fest transforming Cell. However, because of how good the other units are on the team defensively, getting down to that 40% HP threshold really didn't seem likely, and considering you need Cell to transform into that, not for the heal, but by the way, it's great here considering you're limited to 2 Sensu beans that involve healing. That healing does come in handy if you can get it triggered by the time you do get into Cell Max's final phase, where you're going to need the transformation, or even during if you manage to push it that far, but it is risky. However, on a team like, as I said, getting him down to that 40% HP threshold just isn't really possible, so it's not really good or viable to run him on that team. Now, what I've said about the units that surround EZA Cell for so long while running him in red zone is they are very good. EZA Cell and Cell Juniors, very good. 19 in Jiro, very useful. Good support, solid defense after they super. They can absorb Ki Blast supers. Unfortunately, Cell Max in his own event doesn't have Ki Blast supers, so they can't do that. You have the Dokkan Fest androids with their Ghost Usher for a turn. Unfortunately, didn't manage to utilize it here, but if we did, we probably would have beat the event. But that's fine. I don't really expect to beat the event here. Just need the unit to have a good showing. They are very good. They are still very good. Of course, mine are rainbowed level 10 links, so that kind of rings more so true. Also, Dokkan Fest transforming Cell, once he's fully transformed, he is good to go, but a unit that probably needs dupes in harder content to have a bit more consistency. We also have Android 16, who's still probably one of the strongest units on this category because of the guard he can have and how well he tanks, even in the Cell Max event, with how much damage this event can do. But my main thing with this team is there are some great units. It's just where the kind of standard is drawn now. Some of them, without dupes because they've aged a bit, they're kind of just clinging on, where they can either really throw your run depending on how many dupes you have and which ones you have, or they could also still do pretty well in there, but there's still a big chance they can get caught. So this is why on JP anyway, with the release of Super 17, I actually can't wait for him to come out on Global, because it does help specifically target Goku, but a lot of those units on that category do fall into androids. So there is that. But however, when it comes to Cell, I decided to go for this team just because there's more units in here likely to take damage by the time we make it into the final phase where we need Cell transformed. And that's exactly what we did. I tried to avoid as many super attacks as possible, avoided any defensive raises, all the things like that. And of course, we finally got a HP way below the threshold, but of course enough for us to transform. And we actually managed to get it perfect, literally perfect timing, which was have Cell transformed as soon as we get in to the final phase. And again, that insurance policy that I like to call it, very useful to have, especially if you haven't transformed in yet and you manage to survive during this phase. That's an extra healing item for you. while also having a potential Ghost Usher with the androids. Again, I didn't get to utilize it, but it's useful. As you can see here, we don't even get that many Orms lined up. Of course, he's almost perfectly linked with the LR Cell and Cell Juniors. We managed to get him 8 orbs, so we do get all that additional attack and defense, which means Cell's going to be doing the best possible damage he can do here. Of course, he also has the built-in additionals. He's doing a 14.6 million attack stat. He has dupes in, so there's another chance of additional. But he also has type advantage. He also then hits a crit for 22.2 million. So he does huge amounts of damage to Cell Max. Follows up with additional, then hits another 11.9 million. He's below half health at this point. He dodges the super, dodges a follow-up basic. However, on a basic there, he would have tanked for double digits because he did get the double super. The double 50% defense raise, he would have been fine. The super, I'm not sure, but the fact he dodged it with 5 dodge, fair play. There's a reason why he's called Perfect Cell, and that's the reason why Perfect Cell is better than Cell Max. All I'm saying is, if we managed to get the second additional from the dupe system, we probably would have killed Cell here, especially if we hit a crit. And then, or we might have even finished him off the next turn. Or if we managed to get the androids floating on this rotation, which unfortunately we didn't, we could have ushered, gone into the next turn, and there's probably a highly likely chance we maybe would have died, but also a big chance we also would have killed Cell because of the amount of damage that the EZA LR Cell can actually do, because of that type advantage, but because if we can get in the 8 key spheres, he's doing, as you saw there, 16 million attack stats, built-in additionals, built-in crits. He's doing insane amounts of damage, 22 million crit. Hence why he melted Cell Max's HP bar. I still think Gohan is number 1, Cell is number 2, but it's a little bit closer than our first 4, and Cell is honestly insane. He just doesn't have the same units that Gohan has around him to compete, but he's still ridiculous. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and peace.